Hello, everybody. We are going to get started here. We're going to give folks just another minute or so to join us. Once everybody gets in here, we'll go ahead and start our webinar. All right, let's get going then. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, How eVolve Mechanical Can Help with Manpower Shortages. Thank you for spending some time with us today. This webinar is brought to you by eVolve MEP. My name is Rachel Grillo, and I am a Product Marketing Coordinator for eVolve, and I'll be your moderator today. Now, before we get started, I'll go through some webinar housekeeping. We encourage you to take advantage of this fully customizable webinar console by clicking on the icons at the bottom of your screen. You can resize any of these widgets during the presentation. So also don't forget to type your questions and comments into the Q&A widget throughout the presentation. Sometimes we answer the questions as they come up, and sometimes we answer the questions at the end of the webinar as well, but we'll definitely make time to answer all of them. So please take a moment to introduce yourself. You can also take the survey at any time during or after the webinar. This webinar is being recorded for your convenience, so you will receive an email with the recording link for future reference. And you can find eVolve MEP on social media to make meaningful connections, receive special offers, and stay up to date on the newest innovations. And also be sure to visit our website, evolvemep.com, to see how we help improve profitability and visibility for trade contractors by aligning teams on a single platform. Now, I am pleased to introduce today's presenter, Derek Gonzalez. Derek is a sales engineer at eVolve MEP with many years of experience in the industries. We are very proud to have him with us. Thank you for joining us today, Derek. Take it away.
All right. Thank you very much, Rachel. So how's it going, everybody? So today we're going to go kind of over how eVolve Mechanical can help out with some of those shortages. So I'm actually going to kind of change things up a little bit and include some polls this time. So right off the bat, I'm sure we've all experienced it, just some kind of manpower shortages, too many projects, not enough people. So I'm going to post a poll here, just seeing how many people are experiencing that even right now. So you should see a little poll thing pop up on your screen here shortly. Have you or your coworkers experienced a shortage of detailers? Something that I've experienced quite often here, and especially with talking with others. So we'll give that a little bit to go through there. Give that a minute. Now, from this, what we'll be able to do is kind of see that it's not just one company or anything. I think it's pretty standard across the board. Everybody's experiencing this. Give it another minute here. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Are you ready? We're going to switch it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Drum roll. Oh, my gosh.
So,
you guys.
I expected at least one no or something there, but I think that's pretty showing up a lot just across anybody that I've talked to in this industry. Now, one thing, since I do talk to many just throughout the industry every day, what I really did is took up 3 things that I hear constantly about being issues. So the next poll here is just going to be 3 things that eVolve right away can help out with. So the next poll is going to be basically what takes up the most of your time in Revit if you're already in Revit, or let's say even Fabrication Academy P or another detailing software. Hanger placements, annotation, spooling. And what I'd like to do is kind of take that and really start to drill down on that during this webinar. So we'll give that a second to start going through and seeing how I might be able to help you out and specialize that just for this webinar here. Oh, I see the count going up there. I did not know there was a count at the bottom, so that's pretty nice. We'll give everybody...
It's really handy.
Yeah. All right. There we go. So...
Let me know when you're ready.
I still see it jumping up every once in a while, so there we go, a little bit more. I guess let's go ahead and see what people are thinking about. What's taking up the most of your time?
All right, here we go.
Annotation.
Ooh, annotation.
Okay. Now, so that is not what I was expecting, but I can see that happening as well. Annotations and spooling. So hanger placement, that's kind of surprising, but at the same time, some people aren't placing hangers or having to coordinate it yet. So doesn't surprise me too much. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll start sharing my screen, and I've got one more poll at the end there. So let's see here. I do believe this should start sharing this screen. Go ahead and go from there. And you should be seeing Revit now, correct, Rachel?
Yep, I can see it from here.
All right, awesome.
And
so,
folks, if you can't see his screen, just let me know in the chat section.
Throw it in Q&A. So what I'll do then is I'll really focus on our annotation tab here, kind of going through the customization that you can go from really Revit, getting some of that fabrication information into those tags, customizing those tags, not really having to use Project Browser as much to scroll down and start finding those different tags to drag and drop or coming through the annotate area. So I'll show you how we're kind of conquering some of those. Cannot see the screen from John there. Let's see. I do believe Rachel, you got that one there. So what I'll do here is I'll just start going ahead. Let's say with the annotation, one thing that I've kind of gotten the request of often was just, let's say, tagging sleeves. So I can start kind of make one of our sleeve tags here, show how we can help automate that, get that information in there. So if I need to place sleeves, just real quick placement of sleeves there, get everything placed and into that area. Now, if I come over here to this section view, and let's say I do need to start bringing those in, this is where eVolve's tools can definitely help this out. Instead of having to go through the annotate, do a tag by category, loading it, etc. You know, in the long run, that's going to take time doing it for each one, or you're going to do tag by category and then tag each of them. But in the long, oh, just had another question come in. Do sleeves work with linked models? Yes, they do. So right there, that's going to be a linked model with those walls, and you can specify exactly what we're doing. I am sharing my screen there. Is everybody able to see? It looks like I have a couple people that aren't able to see it currently.
So sometimes this happens where some folks can see the screen and others cannot. Okay. A lot of times if you log out and then come back in, sometimes that works for whatever reason. Also, sometimes the little widget buttons down at the bottom will toggle whether or not you can see it.
There we go. Okay, so he's able to see it now. Awesome. All right, so back on that, David, yes, you are able to run this tool against linked models. You can specify even which items or elements you want to run against, or even which walls. So that's why you see it running up against this wall versus this one. They are two different types of walls. So you can see this is going to be a 1 hour wall. Meanwhile, this is a 2 hour wall. If you want to know more about that, I can hit it at the end there. But now let's say for tagging these, instead of having to go through that process that I was showing you earlier, a tag by category in this view, having to find and load that family and everything, what I can actually do is once I create that tag once, I can actually go ahead and save it right here in our annotation group. That allows me to actually control the placement and which tag I'm using right through here. So I just got to find the family path for it. So I think in this one, I actually already have a sleeve tag here. Yep, right there, just a sleeve tag right here. And you can see you're able to name it whatever you need to. And then you also can control the placement of it as well. So now if I need to quickly tag something, I can select it if I need to and just hit sleeve tag. It goes ahead and loads that in for me. And you can see this is just giving dimensions, and very quickly, if I needed to edit this, I can come through, double click that family, and come through. Let's say I need to get that elevation. It's just editing like a normal family. So double clicking or right clicking edit family, coming here and hitting that edit for the label, and finding whatever parameter that you're needing there. So whether it be elevation, sleeve elevation, whatever it might be, you can go through, pull it from the parameter, and get that information into here. So a really useful tool that you can start customizing and getting that information in. Now, like I said, if I need to tag all these, instead of just having to click one by one or having to, oops, I had that selected there. Let me lock that link model. Instead of windowing whatever I need to, that's where I start liking to use my element filter here. This is another tool using eVolve Mechanical, trying to speed up that annotation process. So y'all know that usually that can take a long time, having to tag everything or find everything in the project that you need to tag or that specific view. Here what you can do is start using that element filter to create filters to make your selections. So a very quick, simple one is the select sleeves here. I'll go ahead and select it and hit modify filter here and come up here. Now through this, I can make it for both RFA and ITM content. Now if you've used fabrication parts in Revit, you know that the sleeves in Revit actually aren't possible to place. It's a CID that is supported. So what we actually did is used conduit fittings as the category here for the RFA content. What that allows it to do is make the different rotations to align to slope to be able to place it there. Now from here, all I got to do is conduit fittings as the category and include the family name contains sleeve. So right here, if I wanted to, I could go even further and let's say the family name contains, let's say rectangular. I only want to select the rectangular sleeves. Whatever I wanted to, I could keep on adding conditions here. Now, for the options, I like to have a default action right away. In this case, I want to tag the sleeve, so I just want to select it here. Once I do have that set up, it's as simple as just hitting OK. And now, just double clicking it has my sleeve selected. From here, I can just hit this drop down and hit sleeve tags. Right there, I have everything tagged. Now, I'm going to take it a step further. What you'll notice is that I do have a hotkey area through here. You can come in here and type in 2 keys. Now, right away, if I were to just type in SL, you'll see it's trying to split an element. What you need to do in these cases is we actually have a listener that you have to set up. So you'll go through File, Options, and it's going to be User Interface. You'll need to come to this keyboard shortcut right here. From here, go to eVolve Mechanical tab, and you are going to be looking for a listener here. So let me see if I can find it. I do believe it should be somewhere pretty close here. There's Family Browser. Oh, here I can type in right up here. There we go. And then once you have that selected, you just type in whatever you want the 2 keys to be. For me, I use EM. I'll hit assign and hit OK. So now I can type in EM and then SL. And right there, it automatically starts working to select those sleeves. Now, if I wanted to, I could have this only as one letter, and really I can go through 3 keystrokes and have my tag or my sleeve selected. Not only just sleeve selected, I could do the same thing for hangers. If I had hangers in the project, I could hotkey that. For this process, it's really nice, especially if you're having to export out to MAJs or etc. Using this element filter with exporting and tagging, really, really strong tool there. So I'm going to give a quick second to see if anybody had any questions about that quick little bit that I just did there, whether it be the element filter or how to add a custom tag under our annotation. See if there's any questions regarding those two right there. Give it a second, see if anything comes in there. And also, sorry if y'all hear me sniffling or anything. That cold front in Texas, not a fan of it. All right. Not seeing anything, so I'll go ahead and push this a little bit further. Now, with our annotations, not only can you do your own custom tags right through here, but we do have right here just generic renumbering, elevation tags, etc. That you do have some control over it as well. If your company does have your own tags for elevation, for a size tag, you can still use those with our tool. All you'll need to do is come over here to Settings and Annotation Settings. This is one thing that I really like, is that we've unlocked this tool to work with your company standards, whether it be the tags, the families, content. You can use your own items with this tool. So let's say for number tag, what I can do here is that if I had my own number tag for my ductwork, all I got to do is path it to that family. Let me expand this a little bit better here. So you'll see I have that family file path. It'll find that family name for me automatically. Don't really have to worry about service type whenever it comes to the ductwork on this side. But also I still get that control of placement. So for the placement right here, it's going to be the general placement. Imagine a grid for the elements itself. That's going to be the general placement right there, whichever one you select. Then this left, right, up, down adjustment, that's going to be the fine tuning of it in that grid. From there, you do have that ability to turn that leader on and off. So I'll go ahead and hit cancel, just showing a little bit how you can use your own content with our tool. Now from here, let's say I do need to go through and let's say renumber the duct here. What I can do is I can very quickly, let's say, select a service. It goes through, I can select it now and hit finish. And all I have to do is hit my renumber here. This allows you to automatically renumber based off of rules that you set up. So that's going to be in the configuration here based off of those rules. You can see I can have a different rule between valves, welds, hangers, general ductwork, pipework. I could go as far as if I want my supply air renumbered different from my exhaust air. I can definitely set up those rules to filter down to service name or even a specific parameter. That's all going to be done through that selection filter here. Now the prefix, you can see right here, I can start to pull in that information as well. So some parameter information, you can do multiples as well. It doesn't just have to be one parameter. I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank and put in a starting value of 0, 1. Another thing I really like is that you can go ahead and start typing in multiple locations as well. In this case, I'm also going to have tag elements turned on. Now the last group here is common numbering. So if you have same number for identical parts or want that, you do have that ability to do that here. This settings, what it is doing is it allows you to ignore certain properties. So if one element has different comments than another, you can have that called out through here. So let's say through the notes, if one element has different notes than the other, that will be able to ignore here. It will have the same number. So we'll go ahead and hit apply and OK. And one thing that I like is that you can select the run to specify the order. You can say where number 1 is going to be and where it's going to number from that point on. So I'm just going to go ahead, check that for me and hit OK. Looks like it selected some duct out in space there as well, which is perfectly fine. But here's where one's going to be, and here's where the end's going to be. And then I can go through and number my branches as well. Once that's done, it'll go ahead and prompt me that, hey, you're renumbering some of these. And there we go. It went ahead and tagged everything for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going down the line till it hits 8 there. And then it comes back up through here. Looks like 2 got stacked on top of each other, or 3 right there. But 9, 10, 11, 12, and then it keeps on going. So to me, I really like that ability to control where it's being, or how it's being numbered and what order, compared to, I'm sure y'all are used to it, kind of Fabrication Academy P or other programs where the numbers seem a little random at times. So just that ability to automatically tag and renumber at the same time definitely helps out there. All right. Another thing with these tags is that anytime you see that little asterisk, that allows you to control the placement of it. So let's say with this alias tag, I can place it right here. Let me hit finish there, get out of the command. And it's going to go right above it based off of my rules. Now, clearly, if I hit it right here, that's not going to look so good. So what we're allowing you to do is through that shift functionality of that little asterisk right there, is I can start the command holding shift and click on it and place it right there. I saw the notes why is 4 and 6 not the same number. I do believe the links are going to be different. Let me see here. I know I switched something on these a while back, so there is going to be some sort of element that is going to be different for them. There you go. And I can probably show you a video of what I did. I was doing some testing on it this morning, breaking things, so that's a little bit on my fault. All right. So with this, like I said, you have that ability to control the placement of it, helping out with the annotation in general with this. Now, if there are things that you want to push further with annotation, to me, I always see abilities to push annotation further. I wish there was just an easy annotation button to where I could just click it and it would tag everything for me. But definitely use this submit your idea page. That's where we're starting to pull some ideas from, or ideas to better improve it. And to me, I haven't seen it being used as much. So definitely, if you get more ideas, use that little button up here. Submit your ideas through this. We definitely use it during our development phase. Now, the next thing I'll do is kind of go through, spooling was the next big thing that I saw. So defining spools. I'm going to go ahead and ask a question. Hopefully somebody can give some feedback on what do you think is the biggest cause of taking up the majority of your time? Is it defining the spools, the tagging, the BOMs? Throw it in the Q&A. It doesn't have to be an exact question there, but let me know what you think about what's taking the most time for you defining those spools or spooling in general. Give that a second to load and close out some of these views here. Ooh, that went the wrong way. There we go. All right. No comments there yet. What do you not like about spooling? What's taking up the majority of your time doing it? Is it defining them, tagging them? What do y'all think? All right, so not seeing anything, so I'll just kind of go through some of the ways that we are helping you out with that. Oh, creating the sheets. So that one we can handle automatically for you there. Defining the spools, if I wanted to, let's just say I'm going to create one real quick here. I'm just going to use manual creation of them. So define spools, nothing special here, pretty boring to me. I'm just going to name it off of the service abbreviation. and type in the starting numbers. If I wanted to create a sheet here, I just got to check that checkbox and select the title block that I want. I'll leave this check. Now, if you're just wanting to create the sheet, you don't want to check it just yet, you can leave that unchecked. I'll hit OK. Let's just say, I'm just going to window this section right here. I'll hit finish. It defines it as an assembly, and I hit it finish the second time. It has the ability to renumber that you can turn on and off, and we'll hit OK. Next comment I saw was duct BOM, so I'll show you how we can handle that as well. So right there, we have the ability to automatically create this sheet. We have the views coming in. We have the dimensions and the BOM. Now the BOM you can customize however you need to. So Mickey, on that, can you add the Spool 3D views and Spool duct BOMs into the package sheets? Yes, we should be able to there. So right there we have a 3D view and those elevation tops as well. So, or elevation top and elevation right and front. Now, let's say you do need some of these extra views or you need to customize the BOM. So I'm going to kind of do both of those. First is just customizing the sheets, getting some extra views in there. What you can do is just double click to edit this family. And right up top, you can see I have multiple locations here where I just don't even see any views. Now, if I wanted to, I could delete these. No problem is going to happen right there. Let's say for some reason I need this to be an elevation back now. What I can do is, let's say I come down here, I'm going to name this elevation back. And now I can come scroll down, and all it is just checkbox right there, elevation back. And now I'm going to go ahead and load that back into the project. I'm going to overwrite that. And now you need to regenerate the sheets here. Oop. Went a little too fast there. Come back up here to my prefab manager. And here I can select that one that I already spooled and generate the sheets. It's going to warn you saying, hey, you're deleting and regenerating it. That's perfectly fine. The current title block's fine. And now we'll see that one view is now going to be an elevation back right there. So you're able to go ahead and get more views in. If I needed to bring that other view back, it's as simple as selecting it, doing CS for create similar, and I go through the same process. Elevation, let's say left here. Get that done, hit apply, select the checkbox, and you can also start including tags in it as well. Alan, right now we're not able to show a floor plan underneath these plan views, but that is something that we are looking to do. If you are a user currently, you can add it to the submit an idea site as well. And through this, I'm going to let our devs know. I'm actually going to put it in some notes here as well that we got that request for it. I'm pretty sure we have something here pretty soon that is going to be exactly what you're looking for, but I don't have it yet on this build. And view. All right. I don't want to close that. There we go. All right. So now for this, let's say I am going to kind of go back to Mickey, duct BOMs. If I do need to create a BOM from spooling, I'm going to go ahead to find another one, restart my numbering here. I'm going to do the same thing, create a sheet on finish, call out my duct, title block, select a few pieces here, and just hit finish. You'll see it creates that assembly, hit finish, and renumbers. And right here, you can already see that service abbreviation coming in. I went ahead and tagged it there. And right here, you can see I do have a BOM coming in automatically for me. What is happening here is through that title block, I'm going to close that extra one, double click in here. You'll see I do have a duct BOM. What it's doing is it's calling out a view template through here. So whatever the view template is in Revit, however that one looks, it is actually going to upload it or call it out whenever it's defining that spool. So if I needed to make whatever changes, I'm just going to go ahead and do a copy of it. I can double click in here. Let's say I need to add a connector just coming through fields, finding that connector parameter. So there it is. I can hit OK, hit apply. You can see that's starting to come in as well. I can start to see it here as well. Now I just need to start generating more sheets, and there we go. We'll start to have that on all of our BOMs or our sheets as well. How can you clean up, filter your prefab manager? So we don't have a filter yet built into the prefab manager. It is something that we are optimizing, I think, on our next release. So I'll double check that for you, Mickey. But is that able to answer your question on the duct BOMs, how to customize them more? My plan is how to get good views on templates. So if the map plan is not true 90, how to get good views on the template. So we are only going to be able to have it as basically up down. It is going to angle it if the project is not true 90, but you do have that ability to select it and rotate it. So you do have that rotation as well. Give me a quick second. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any of the questions there. There we go. And does the EM tagging functionality work with out-of-the-box Revit content or FabMAP content? So for that, it is going to, I do believe we now unlocked it for out-of-the-box Revit content. Now, Fred, whenever you ask that, are you talking specifically about RFA content or about out-of-the-box Revit fabrication database that comes with Revit? Give you a second to specify on that one. And I guess an easy answer for that, now that I'm thinking about it, I can just come back over here to this floor plan. These sleeves right here, okay, these are going to be RFA content. What you can do is that if I don't have a tag for it through here, you can see it's not letting me select that RFA content. I can create my own custom tag right here to be able to use that. So through these tags, these are going to be specific to the categories of fabrication ductwork, pipe work, and pipe and duct RFA side. The custom content right here, that's going to be unlocked for everything. All right. Any other questions about that, Fred, there? I actually kind of like this. It lets people ask questions that other people might not have, but I'm going to go ahead and post that last poll question, see how the frustration is and everything. So have you or any of your coworkers kind of felt overwhelmed from that kind of lack of kind of having enough people there? Just had another question come in, so I'll answer that here in a second. Well, let's see if we get anybody to answer this one. Just had a poll question posted. Have you or any of your coworkers kind of felt overwhelmed from how much is being requested of y'all now? I got 2 more questions in, so I will definitely show how I will handle those. And let's see. Looks like it. Are you ready? Yep, I was going to say, I was about to stop and then it jumped up again, but let's go ahead and see what everybody's thinking here.
All right, here we go. Oh my gosh.
There we go. So I knew there was at least somebody going, I'm okay so far. But
I feel like we need to start a support group. Poor guys.
It's done at the local bar. As bad as that sounds. But no, I totally understand. Looks like 90% of us are kind of feeling overwhelmed with how much is being requested of us. So I know kind of for me, the tagging was a big thing where I got the most help out of this. Now, I did have a question come in. Can you auto spool a whole job? Now, we can't auto spool the entire job. We can do it by service though. So I can come in here. We do have an auto spool feature. What you can do is enter in your maximum dimensions, whether it be the pallet, truck, however big you need these spools to be. And we'll just hit OK. And all it does is you'll see select a part to start at, and then point at which direction to go. So I'm going to say I want it to spool in this direction. Right there, it goes ahead, defines the spools. I can use my numbering as needed. I can create the sheets on finish. In this case, I'm not going to do that because that takes extra time for it to go ahead and generate everything. It's not a lot of time, but in this case, it's just enough to where I don't want to take up too much time on it. Once I do that, right there, we have it to renumber, and it'll keep on going there. Renumbers everything, and if I needed to, afterwards start creating sheets, there's all those spools I defined. So you do have that ability to quickly do that there. From there, it would just continuing to be breaking it up however you needed to spool it by service. That is working through connectivity. So if you did need it to stop at a certain part, what I would do is just select it actually and break the connection there. So I can grab that or grab this piece of pipe if it will let me and drag it out if I needed to stop at this T. So that's just something to be aware of there if you weren't wanting it to spool throughout the whole job. When rotating 3D views, so here's a good one. When rotating 3D views, you have to unlock the 3D setting to rotate, then you lose all the tagging. Is there a way to regenerate tags without replacing them all? So for that, there isn't a way to have it automatically regenerate the tags whenever you move it. So if I come through here just to show exactly what we're talking about, I'm going to go ahead, select this one, and open up that sheet. Now this one's not too terribly bad. I can see all the elements, but let's say you do have to come in here. I wanted it to be at a different angle. You can see I don't really have that ability to move it or rotate it or anything. Right down here, you'll need to unlock this 3D view. Now, once you do that, you'll see you lose your tags. That is just native Revit happening right there. But now, if I needed to, I can now see more elements or rotate it as needed. From this point, you can come through, you can tab through it, select it, and hit the number tag. Or if you needed to, what I would do here, DJ, is I would use that element filter. Set up an element filter for the elements that you're looking to tag, whether it be specifically pipework, the welds, whatever it may be. And you can just very quickly hit a hotkey for that and come up here and hit number tag on it. So there's kind of two different ways that you can do that, but the tags automatically disappearing, that is going to be more on the Revit side controlling that. Hope that's able to help you out there. Now for that, the last thing I guess I will really touch on is the hanger placement. If you are needing to quickly place all those hangers, since that was the last thing, I'll kind of quickly go over that. So I'm really going to work on the trapeze here. So for this, we do have trapeze placement. You can set these up per service here if you'd like. All you have to do is come up here. We have a little settings right here, and I'll actually set one up on the fly here. So right here, you'll do a new placement profile. For this, what I recommend doing is your spacing, the service that you're going to be using, and the strut size. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and do 8-foot spacing. Chilled water supply is the one that I want to use the hanger on, and let's say 5/8 hanger. So leave that aligned to the bottom of the insulation, and now I just got to go find my chilled water supply and the hanger I'll be using. Once I do have that in, It's as simple as hitting this drop down, selecting the hanger, and hitting OK. From here, I can select the direction that it's going, and it'll follow that path and go ahead and place those hangers for me that quickly. Now for this, you can push it further. Let's say you do get a request, somebody needs this to be extended out for whatever reason. Unless you get really lucky, you're not going to hit an even 2-inch mark. So in this case, we can come over here. I think I have a material takeoff. We can see I got pretty close there. But what you can now do is come over here, highlight it, or depending on what you're doing, I can go through and set this up. Select hangers, anything that's on a chilled service, selects all my hangers for me, and I could use this bare width rounding. Right there, it'll go ahead and round everything up to the nearest 2-inch mark, and it's all rounded back up. So that is totally up to you on how you want to handle that. From here, what I can also do, since I have them selected, I'm going to go ahead and select actually take one step back there, and we'll see that item number is blank still. So let's go ahead, select all the hangers again, and now I can automatically renumber them. I don't want to select them to specify the order. And there we go. I have all the item numbers filled out as well that quickly. Now, once again, I can combine that, select the hangers again, and tag them all at once. Oh, I only had that one hanger selected. Selected them all, and there we go. I have all those coming in. So really able to not only place hangers quickly, rounding, renumbering, and tagging all pretty quickly if you ask me. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is just leave it open for general questions. Anything that you might have seen or seen up at the top that you might have had more questions on. Actually getting right to where I wanted to be to leave it open for those questions. So that worked out perfectly. All right, let's see what comes in there.
I love all these time-saving tips. Like every second counts, and annotation can just be so tedious.
To me, actually, yeah, I wanted to show that as well. Let's see if something comes in there. How would you tag hangers if you wanted to go with the slope of the pipe in numerical order? So for that, that is going to be whenever you use renumber, Jason, you're going to have to select the run to specify the order. Or it would really be select element to specify the order. Since they're not connected, there is no real way that you could do that automatically. So selecting the element to specify the order, and then basically you're going to have to pick each element while it's going down that slope. It's still a manual process, but at least then you're able to specify that order. That error that just came up, that is a pretty common thing that I always see coming through, is somebody will sit there, they'll try to place hangers on everything, and right away they get this. If you're a user, you ever see this, right away what I always tell everybody is take a screenshot of it. Put it on your other monitor, and what that's saying is exactly what you need to place all the hangers. The reason why this is happening is I kind of hit a piece of pipe just over there in the background, and it's just saying, hey, you don't have a rule in your hanger settings. So now it's just warning you, if I wanted to, I could come in here, just set up any rules for pipe work, any size, and I'm just going to put some generic spacing in and using a clevis hanger. That quickly I can go through, set up a super generic rule, and now whenever I run this again, it won't have any errors popping up. It is placing all those hangers as needed, even on that one that I hit. So you'll see something sticking way up in the background there. Open up, it just placed it right as it was supposed to. Cool. So really just remembering, if you do see anything that has this error, just take a screenshot of it, like I said, and right here it's telling you what's cut type it is, the service, and the material and sizes. So you don't have something set up for that, and it'll be able to quickly solve that. All right. I'll leave it open a little bit more. Jason, I hope that was able to help answer your question there. And actually, I can kind of show a quick example of that as well. Let's see if I have it on one of these screens. If not, I'll just go to the top here. So let's say for these, you can see I don't have that item number. I can come in, select element, specify the order. I'm actually going to do it a little bit back. Okay, that's the way you're currently doing it. Okay. Can you globally fine tune? So Fred, can you globally fine tune the tag placement after they are placed on the view? Currently, there is not a way to place, or you could do a select all of the same instance and kind of nudge them, but there wouldn't be a way to, after you place them all, if you made the adjustments in annotation settings after that they're placed, it won't reflect on that view. Once you place it, that's where it is. You would have to manually adjust from there. Okay. Well, I don't see anything else coming in. I'm hoping that some of these ideas were able to help some of you out, especially with the element filter renumbering, especially with the tagging, using element filter and annotations, just setting up what you need to select here and going through the annotation placement, using the correct tag from there. If you do have any other questions, let me see where I put my email. So I am expecting a little one here pretty soon, so I might not be on the next webinar here. So I would definitely suggest going to FTG support. They will be able to forward it over to me. But if you absolutely need me, there's my email as well. So if anybody needs anything, feel free to reach out to either of these emails right here. Give me 1 second. I just saw one come in. Can you set up a hanger placement rule to use strut hanger to group ductwork of a certain size running together? So for that, Mickey, it would probably be using that unistrut right there. So I can follow up with you, kind of show you exactly how I would do that and make sure that we're understanding and going from there. Jason, thank you very much there, sir.
This is great. I love all the feedback and the great ideas that you guys have. This is like one of my favorite parts of this industry. We get to work with so many brilliant people on a regular basis. Derek, thank you so much for that presentation. And thanks everybody for attending today's webinar. Congratulations, Derek. That is exciting. If you guys have any questions while he's out, I would also like to recommend marketing at eVolveMEP.com. We are always on standby over here. So if we need to forward any of your questions, we can make sure that we get it to the right person as well. So thank you so much for spending your time with us. And we trust that this was a meaningful and impactful webinar for you and your business, and we look forward to seeing you on a future eVolve webinar. Thanks again, and have a great rest of your day.